Good afternoon again. I'm pleased to be here today with Interim Superintendent of Schools Mike Shea, along with school committee members Jack Livermeno, Bruce Olivera, and Jack Nobriga, along with many parents, principals, and teachers to announce the expansion of the New Public Schools Parent-Teacher Home Visit Program. This innovative family engagement program brings teachers into students' homes to foster better communication and coordination to support student progress and achievement. The program was piloted in 2010 at the Kearney Academy right up the street and was a great success. You'll hear from Justine Medina in a couple minutes. I also want to thank personally Principal Karen Tretta for spearheading the program at Kearney and getting its funding restored through a generous grant from Bay Coast Bank. And this year, in addition to the continuation of the program at Kearney Academy, I'm pleased to announce that the program will continue to not only continue to operate there, but will expand to other schools, specifically the Hayden McFadden Elementary School, the Roosevelt Middle School, and to New Bedford High School. This is what the program's about. It's founded on the core belief that parents and teachers are co-educators of children. The parent is the expert on the individual child, while the teacher is the expert on curriculum and the delivery of that curriculum to children in school. Teachers conduct the visits in pairs and are compensated for their time. Each family is visited twice a year. The first visit is to establish a connection, a trust, and a relationship personally and professionally with the parent. And the second visit is focused on providing the resources and information based on student need and grade level. In a perfect world, we would have parents coming in regularly on their own and connecting with teachers and opening up those lines of communication. For better or for worse, that doesn't happen as it once did. And so what we're doing here really is a more proactive effort to connect teachers with parents so that they both get on the same page. Parents and teachers want the same thing. They want the best for their children. In the case of the teachers, the children in their class, and of course for parents, their own kids. We all want the same thing. And if we get on the same page about how to do that, good things will happen. And education starts in the home. We all have to realize that. And on that foundation, teachers build. And so this is a great way to expand on a really successful program, and we look forward to great results in the years to come. With all that, let me introduce Superintendent Shea for a few remarks.
Again, welcome everyone. It's a nice time to talk about during the holidays of engagement. You know, as we approach the holiday season, we all look towards the time that we get together with our families. And this program here will help us throughout the whole year, connecting the school to the community, to the parents. And I think it's just an outstanding program led by, I see, administrators here from Hayden McFadden, from Roosevelt, from Kearney, high school. It's something that we all want to do. And without the funding that we've had, through the Island Foundation, the Bay Coast Bank, after-school funding, that funding has helped us to do this. And we hope to continue this, and we will continue it, because we have many other teachers that want to get involved in it with families. But I just want to say thank you to the people that help us fund this program. I want to thank the administrators that are here from these schools, because without your leadership, it wouldn't happen. And most of all, I want to thank the teachers for stepping up and saying that, yes, I will go to meet the parents, we'll talk about it. And a lot of it deals with that career and college readiness. It's not too early to start talking to elementary school kids, middle school kids, about what their choices are. Where are you headed, and what do you have to do? So, again, congratulations to everybody, and I support this program 100%. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. There's been a lot of effort put into the program, and it bears repeating that. It really comes down to teachers really putting in the time and effort to make this happen. The traditional teaching model doesn't include going out to homes, but nowadays I think that's something that we really need to think about, and our teachers are embracing that approach. It's also very important that that the programs get the support from the top, and in that way, I want to thank not only Superintendent Shea, but Assistant Superintendent Danielle Carrigo, as well as Assistant Superintendent Heather Larkin in particular for their efforts, as well as my colleagues on the school committee, Mr. Livermeno, Mr. Oliveira, and Mr. Nobriga. With that, I'd like to call up Darcy Fernandez, who is the principal of Roosevelt Middle School, who will tell you a little bit about the expansion of the program at her school. Darcy?
Thank you very much, Mayor Mitchell. I'm excited to be here today for a couple of reasons. First of all, I want to thank Kearney Academy for their leadership. When I heard about the program 2 years ago, the first thing I asked is, how can we get involved? And I really want to thank them because I think they really thought outside the box and began to think of different ways in which to outreach to families. And so I appreciate the fact that they were willing to put forth that leadership, as well as United Interfaith Action, because without them at the forefront of really saying, as a school system, we need to really think differently, we would not be at this place. So I thank you for all of your efforts. With Roosevelt in particular, we have a unique population. Our school has a large number of children where English isn't the first language. And for me, this was extremely important because it gave us an opportunity to outreach to our families and really bridge that cultural divide that we have. For a large number of our families, they see school differently than we do. And we saw it as an opportunity to really get into homes and begin talking to those families and hearing from them what was life like for them, what are some of the things that they see that their children need, and how can we begin to help them. And that was a great forum for us because oftentimes when schools call, in the past we would call kind of, this is a concern of where we have, and approaching it from a perspective of, what do you want for your child? And beginning to have those types of conversations began to open a lot of doors for us. It allowed us and for us to see families differently and to see our families as individuals who really are proponents for their children. We have yet to meet a family whose number one priority wasn't their child's success. And that's the first thing we've learned from this experience. The other thing we've learned from this experience is that life is crazy for a lot of families. What we have found is that the barriers that are getting in the way for some of our families are incredible. And what we've been able to do is tap into resources that are currently available in the city of New Bedford to help some of these families. One of our families we met, it was a dad who, for the first time, had gone from being a full-time worker to being at home with his 3 children because his wife had passed away. And he was just, it wasn't that he didn't care about what was going on with his child at home, at school. The problem was he was concerned about the day-to-day needs. Food, clothing, and shelter. And we were able to work with him and really make a difference for that family. And so what it has taught us as a school is that before we make assumptions, we really need to ask questions. And those questions need to be asked in a way that it leaves the family open enough to want to talk about what's going on and to really see ourselves as a partnership rather than as 2 different entities who are going against one another. And like I said, what I have to say about this program is it's really taught us a lot about how we need to do things differently at school. And I really want to thank the leadership of Kearney Academy and the United Interfaith Action for giving us that light, because I think it's really something that if we can continue can really make a difference for a lot of our families and our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Darcy. This program is a good example of how good ideas get started and ultimately implemented. It usually takes one person who sees the light and spreads it to others, someone who comes up with a kernel of an idea and persuades others that it's worth embracing. And it started here. The home visit program started here with one teacher, and that's Justine Medina at Kearney Academy, who thought that this would be a good thing for New Bedford Public Schools and began to evangelize it in her school and beyond. And so it's really a tribute to her efforts that we're at this point. So Justine, would you come on up and tell us a little bit how it got started and how things are going?
Words can't express how happy I am to be here today to talk to you about this amazing program, the Parent-Teacher Home Visiting Project. I first heard about the program when I attended an education conference in San Jose, California, with United Interfaith Action, a faith-based community organization. This project was established in Sacramento by parents to address the negative assumptions and barriers that existed between the parents and teachers in a struggling school district similar to our own. The goal of the program was to break down these assumptions and barriers with the hopes of building partnerships and establishing trust. It is a way to promote parental involvement and to help school staff become aware of outside factors that make our students who they are. It is also an opportunity to provide students and their families with academic resources. After a public meeting with approximately 150 community members organized by United Interfaith Action and with the support of the NBEA, New Bedford Educators Association, school officials agreed that the program could be piloted at Kearney during the 2010-2011 school year. Initial grant funding allowed staff at Kearney to visit 30 families for a total of 60 home visits, and in the second year, we expanded to visit 60 families for a total of 120 home visits. As a result of some unreliability and inconsistency with grant funding, we were disappointed to find out this fall that there may not be funding. And then there was, which was a good thing. But at Kearney, we think outside the box, and we kind of took matters into our own hands. I have a colleague here, Julie Ferreira, who heard about the Bay Coast Bank contest, and we submitted our entry, our parent-teacher home visit project entry. And we won $10,000 to expand this program for the next school year. And it was with the help of all the parents, all of our students, the people in the community voting. And so it was really amazing. And now it's expanded to the secondary level. And I really commend the district for taking the steps towards addressing some of these issues. Before I conclude, I just would like to share with you one of my home visiting experiences. I met with a mom whose daughter was new to Kearney, and she was very apprehensive about our intentions with this program. She told me the only reason she agreed to participate was because she had a horrible experience at her daughter's previous school, and she had many questions for me. Our visit went extremely well, and I left feeling like I knew so much more about my student and the struggles both she and her mom faced. Shortly after our visit, my student was faced with extremely hard circumstances, and her family temporarily relocated. As a result of the trust that was established during our home visit, Mom made arrangements to keep my student at Kearney and have her bus nearly an hour each way to school for almost 2 months because she finally felt like her daughter was in good hands. This is the type of impact this program can have and why it is beneficial to our school district. My hope is that district leaders will make the commitment to find sustainable funding sources to continue this program and expand it over the years to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Justine.
Well, the presentation wouldn't be complete if you didn't hear from the other side of the coin, from a parent and a student who've benefited from the program. And that way, I'm pleased to invite up to the podium Jonah and Don Hicks, who've been participating in the program and have a few words to offer about it. Are you ready?
My name is Dawn Hicks, and I'm the mom of Jonah, a 5th grader at Kearney Academy. I'm completely out of my comfort zone up here, but I'm here because I completely believe in the program. We participated in the home visit program while she was in the 4th grade last year. Since kindergarten, my daughter has experienced anxiety about going to school. She gets excellent grades, and her teachers have always said she's a model student. But for some reason, anxiety has become on her. After the first home visit, I noticed a huge difference. Our mornings before school started to run smoothly. There were very few tears and even less complaints about not wanting to go to school. After the second visit, my daughter, who had not wanted to go to college, started planning out her future and picking colleges she'd like to attend. Sitting on her own couch in her own living room where she's most comfortable, she was able to ask her own questions. But more importantly, questions were asked of her, like what was important to her, what her fears were, and what she would like to get out of her education. I cannot speak for her, but as I see it, it made her feel cared about, not just another face in the crowd. So yes, I believe in this program. I feel that more schools, if not all schools, should embrace it and learn from our experience. We are proof that it's a good thing.
Hi, I am Jonah Hex, and I am in 5th grade at Kearney Academy. The home visiting program helped me learn about the school system and how the school works. It also helped me get to know the teachers and changed my fears about school. It helped me realize how much the teachers care about me and how I feel. I think the program should continue so it can help another kid like it helped me.
Thanks a lot, guys. That's all we have. Does anyone have any questions? Harris.
I was curious how much the expanded program will cost for the remainder of the school year?
Yeah, do we have that figure, ballpark? Ballpark?
It's the cost of 2 tickets for each visit, and it varies. For example, Normanton at this time has 2 teachers trained, but they've asked for an extension. We'll know in January if we're able to do that.
Normanton does or Roosevelt?
Normanton.
Oh, okay.
And Roosevelt has far more teachers because this is their 2nd year of the program.
Okay.
And the high school has a number of teachers trained as well. So for each teacher, it covers 4 visits, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring.
So you're asking for the total. We can get you that number.
Okay. And just to clarify, what schools will be taking part in the expansion?
So New Bedford High, Normanton, and Hayden McFadden
Okay. And Roosevelt has already...
has already started it, yeah.
And this is the 2nd year for Hayden McFadden as well.
Okay. So the brand new programs are New Bedford High
And
Normanton. I'm sorry, just to clarify, sorry. You said for each teacher it covers 4 visits, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring. And are those all with the same family, or is it different? Because I'm sorry, I thought the mayor had said 2 visits per family.
2 visits per family.
Okay,
So each teacher chooses 2 students.
I see.
And since they go in pairs, it ends up the teacher doing 4 visits, 2 with their own students, 2 with their partner teachers.
I see. Okay. And how many students will the program cover at the various schools? Do we know?
I can get that for you. I don't have the exact number of teachers offhand.
Okay.
This could be for the superintendent. Any concern, and Mr. Mayor, if you want to speak to it too, any concern about sending these teachers to these homes in regards to their safety or anything like that?
Well, again, they can meet the house, they can meet the library, they can meet at other sites. So it doesn't necessarily have to be at their home. So I think it's the comfort zone of the teacher and the communication with the parents and in the area where it is. So it's a mutual decision on where they're going to meet. So I don't have any worries as long as both parties agree to meet a certain location.
And are they agreeing on the time of day that they're meeting and things like that as well, or is it between a certain?
No, it's after school hours, and it's upon the communication between the two. It could be right after school, it could be early evening, it could be a Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon, upon their mutual agreement.
Can I just add
Yeah.
that it's completely voluntary? So we're not going to anyone's home who's not inviting us there, and I think that helps with us feeling safe, that they're welcoming us into your home, that we feel welcome there.
Mr. Mayor, anything, it'd be remiss not to ask about, the goings on in Connecticut and stuff like that. Do you think this will help, mitigate any such, I guess concerns parents have with sending their children to school, if they get to know the teachers on a more personal level?
Yeah, I wouldn't connect those issues, but let me say this. I think, as the superintendent was getting at, a little common sense can go a long way. So, these types of arrangements work best when parents and teachers are communicating even about some of the small details about where to meet and when to meet and so forth. And the whole idea is to connect better with the community. And those kinds of connections can go a long way, not just in terms of delivering better education, but also in involving community members in the life of the community. And good things happen in communities when that takes place. All right.
Yeah, obviously, it's not going to amount to a service for every single student. What is the criteria for how they're going to choose to communicate with the parents of specific students?
Well, a lot of that's left to the classroom teachers and the principals. I will say this, not every kid needs this type of service. It is the case that, some parents are very involved in their kids' education, very proactive, very engaged, and others aren't. There are certain families for whom outreach from the school is more necessary, and so that's really the target audience. And there are plenty of parents who come into the school very regularly to connect with teachers, and that's not really the target audience here. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas.